Welcome, my friends, to our PMP prep for the PMP exam content outline. We're taking a look at all the domains. This task reads Manage Project Changes, and the question is as follows. During project execution, a crucial stakeholder identifies a significant defect in a delivered component that requires immediate rework. This rework was not planned and will consume a substantial portion of the remaining contingency budget and delay the next milestone. What is the project manager's most effective action to manage this change? Is it A, immediately approve the requested rework and instruct the project management team to prioritize it, using the contingency budget and resources in place to resolve the defect as quickly as possible? B, conduct a root cause analysis of the defect, document the rework, assess its impact on all project baselines, and submit a change request to the Change Control Board for approval. Is it C, inform the stakeholder that the defect will be addressed in a future release or as part of post-project maintenance due to current budget and schedule constraints? Or is it D, negotiate with the stakeholder to accept a partial fix or workaround for the defect to minimize impact on the project's current schedule and budget? I'll give you some time to think about the answer. All right, hit the pause button if you need more time, but let's break it down. First of all, note that this question took over a minute to read, so you must get used to reading these kinds of questions very quick. Option A, immediately prioritize or immediately approve the requested rework. Whenever you see immediately, that's always a bit of a red flag because it means don't do anything else, just approve the requested rework and instruct the project management team. Well, there actually hasn't been mention of a change request yet. So for it to just say approve the requested rework, this is not a good option. It does need to be put into a change request form and go through the proper channels. That leads us to B, conduct a root cause analysis of the defect, document the rework, assess its impact on all project baselines, that's schedule, cost, and scope, and submit a change request to the Change Control Board for approval. So you're not denying that the work needs to be done, you're just following protocol to ensure you understand why this rework is needed. You're documenting it and you're assessing the impact on the project as a whole. That's a wise thing to do. Let's take a look at option C. Inform the stakeholder that the defect will be addressed in a future release or as part of post-project maintenance due to current budget and schedule constraints. This doesn't make sense because it's bypassing the defect, putting it on the back burner, and just moving forward as if nothing happened. Option D, negotiate with a stakeholder to accept a partial fix or workaround for the defect to minimize impact on the project's current schedule, is again postponing the inevitable. It's very evident that there is an issue here, right? So saying, well, let's just fix it partially and leave part of it not working, it doesn't make sense. Or looking for a way around it, it doesn't make sense. That's going to lead to technical debt. So this is really testing you ethically as well. For that reason, my friend, you got to go through the right channels, and the best option is B. And the rationale is that any significant rework or defect resolution that impacts project baselines requires formal change management. The project manager's most effective action is to conduct a root cause analysis, assess the full impact, and submit a formal change request to the Change Control Board, CCB. This ensures proper evaluation, approval, and documentation, maintaining project control. So there you have it, my friends. When it comes to managing project changes, this is a blanket task for predictive changes, hybrid changes, and agile changes. In the world of agile, when requests are made for change, they may come at the end of a sprint, and it's up to the product owner to decide when those changes will take place. They could take place in the next sprint. They could be put on the back burner to a future sprint. It's not a prescriptive, dogmatic way of changing things on the project. But one thing's for sure, it must be addressed. You cannot allow that technical debt to fester for too long. You cannot allow a defect to fester going untreated, because that leads to the customer losing faith in you as the project team. It shows that you're not serious with your work when you're trying to cut corners instead of tackling the defect head on. So when you think about a change request, it could start off verbally. The next step needs to be documented in writing. The next step needs to be to document it in the change log. So you could have a change request form. The change log is like a summary of all the change requests, and then you analyze the change, right? You go through the change and you find out what's the impact, how long will this take, which other aspects of the project are likely to be affected. And when you've got all your findings, you submit the change request and your findings along to the Change Control Board. The Change Control Board will then analyze it, do their own survey, their own analysis. They find out what the impact is from their perspective, as well as using what you've provided. Sometimes they may just go with what you've provided and provide executive oversight, but ultimately they will make a decision. At that point, they may ask for more information from you. They may ask for more information from the customer or whoever the request is coming from. They make their decision. You document it in the change log. You communicate that to stakeholders, and then you implement that change request. Okay? So that's kind of the process. That's kind of the process. It's a very long, almost 10-step process before you get to the end of the managed project changes process array. This is not formally talked about in the PMP guide, but you can infer it from the 6th edition. And it's very important that you follow the steps that I mentioned mentally, because on your exam, you will get many more questions on change requests, change management, following the process, making sure you've followed through to the CCB, as opposed to just approving a change request. Okay. So again, this is task 4 in the content outline on the process. Make sure you understand it. And don't forget, go to study.pmradio.org, where I have even more expanded tutorials on each one of these tasks. You can also find a playlist on YouTube. If you just type in pmp.pmradio.org, you'll be able to see additional videos in the series where this task is explained in a lot more detail. Thank you, take care, and bye for now.